I'm glad you're here, and welcome to the Science of Consistency Applied to Trading. So this is brought to you by me, Brian McAboy, of Inside Out Trading. And we'll just go ahead and jump into things here. Now, I say that I'm glad you're here. The reason I am is you're about to learn the one thing that nobody else has been able to teach you in your trading career, and it's crucial. And that's a specific process to trade consistently in a comfortable and sensible manner without relying on discipline or willpower, and regardless of what you trade or the method that you use. This is all about consistency in and of itself. So the reason this matters, this is arguably the most important aspect of your trading. Without a means to be consistent, you leave thousands of dollars on the table that should be in your account. You miss out on profits that you should have, and you incur losses that you should not. And this is critical to everything else. It really is. I mean, you can have the best computer set up, the best data feed, the best platform, the best system, best everything. But if you don't have a process to be consistent, then none of that stuff, really, it doesn't matter. Now, how does inconsistency show up in your trading? Well, every time you fail to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, and every time that you do something you shouldn't do, or more specifically, every time you hesitate and miss out on a trade or you get in late, every time you get out early and then watch the market run, every time you stay in a trade too long, turning a winner into a loser or a loser into a bigger loser. I mean, every time you deviate from your system, that's an inconsistency, and it costs you in both money and confidence. Now, the problem here is, I mean, you know what you're supposed to do, but actually doing it consistently, day in and day out, week in and week out, this is where it gets so costly that it often keeps many traders from ever making it, and it's usually why traders finally give up defeated, and that's what we're here to fix today. So if you've been trading for any length of time, you know how trading works and how your system works. But you're also aware on at least some level that you've been missing a critical piece to the puzzle, and that is a clear and workable process to be consistent so you can trade free from doubt, anxiety, and fear. I mean, those are the reasons that, those are the things that mess with you in the middle of a trade, are the doubt, anxiety, and fear. So the science of consistency, it actually is a science. And today, right now, you're going to discover that you can enjoy the consistency you desire, trading in a comfortable and relaxed manner, without relying on discipline or willpower or fighting with your emotions, and without having to dredge up and deal with a lifetime of issues on a therapist couch. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, for 24 years, the last 24 years, in a variety of capacities, my focus with my occupation has been on consistency. I'm a mechanical and a process engineer. I'm also a certified quality engineer. I'm a business coach and consultant, and I've been helping traders overcome issues for the last 11 years, psychological, functional issues, business issues, all sorts of stuff. But for over 11 years, I've been working with traders one-on-one and in a variety of ways, brokers, also with other trading educators. So a lot of people I've worked with, individuals to professionals, like I said, the whole gamut. Now, including, and here's like a comment from John Foreman, who's a professional market analyst, professional trader. He talks about how with my process engineering, that I do bring a completely different way of trading than other educators. And so, yes, you will get to see a whole new angle today. I'm cutting a little bit short because I do need to compress the time. Anyway, the other reason that I'm glad you're here, seriously, it breaks my heart every time I get an email from somebody saying that they wish they had found me sooner, that they know that what I teach would have made the difference for them, but it's too late. They've already blown out their account, and now they have to quit. But see, you're here right now, and that's excellent. That's the reason that I'm glad you're here, because it's not too late for you. So what's possible with what you're going to learn here today and my teachings in general, instead of months and years to get where you want to be, we can get you there in days or weeks, because I use a real-world approach. Again, I'm an engineer and a quality engineer, and so my focus is on what works. Forget theory, forget talk, forget claims. It either works or it doesn't. And the nice thing about this is, when people work with me, they enjoy freedom from self-blame and guilt. I remember my early days of trading, before I got my feet on the ground, got my head wrapped around it. I felt horrible about myself the whole time. Not only did I feel bad about the way my trading was going, but I was feeling like a loser. It's like, I've been able to beat most everything else in my life, and I just can't seem to beat this. And I got tired of feeling lost all the time. And what you get is you get freedom from that. You get to leave that old experience in the past. And the other nice thing is you get a renewed optimism about trading. Instead of feeling jaded and wondering if anybody's making money, you can actually see, okay, yeah, this is how you make it work. And that's cool. So if you've ever wondered, yeah, what is it about trading? It seems so simple. Why is it so bloomin' difficult? then you're in the right place. If you're tired of not knowing how to fix your trading, you're tired of struggling with discipline issues. I've had people come to me, they've been fighting with discipline issues for 5, 8, 10, 12 years, still haven't been able to get past it. So if that's you, you're in the right place. If you know that you have a decent system, but you just can't shake the lingering doubt when you go to trade, and if you've had your confidence shaken and you want it back, then definitely you're in the right place. Now, the fact that you're here, that you signed up for this and you're here attending this right now, what this says about you is, first of all, you're serious about making your trading a success, and that's cool. It also says that you're also interested not just in collecting more things, more shiny, objects, but you're interested in, and you understand the importance of developing yourself as a trader. This is crucial. The other thing is that it says about you that you're here is you've made it this far. You've actually survived this far. But a lot of people don't make it as far as you have, and that's cool, because that means you're not a quitter. You're a survivor. You're going to keep after it until you make it work, and that's cool. Now, what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover a few very commonly held misperceptions that hold you back and keep you from moving forward. This is crucial in order to make progress. You're going to find out what the science of consistency is, where it comes from, and how applying it lets you be okay. One of my favorite questions to ask people is, how do you define being a success as a trader? An answer that I'll get, and it's often kind of a caution answer, is, well, when I get profitable. But then when I dig a little deeper, I always get to the same answer. And really, you've made it as a trader, not when you can get profitable, but when you can go to the markets and you know that you're okay. That's when you've made it as a trader. When you no longer have those fears and doubts, that's when you've made it. I mean, I've been there myself where, yeah, you can be profitable for 2, 3, 4 months in a row, but you're still, man, you're just nervous. When you've made it is when you know you're okay. And that's one of the things that we're going to cover today, is how to get to that point. Also, the other thing about consistency is how you maximize your profits and give yourself peace of mind. And that's cool. So understand, though, without knowing this, without being able to, again, having a process for consistency, your struggles will continue, because this is critical to every aspect of your trading, you being able to perform consistently. So we got a short time. It's even shorter now. We've got less than 45 minutes. So make sure you pay attention. Now, I am going to give you as much as I can in this time. We'll save the questions for the end. Hopefully we'll have a few minutes for questions. If you want to take this further, I'll show you how. Yes, I do have an offer for you at the end of the program. If you want to carry things further, you like what you find out, that's fine. If not, I know that you will get good value out of the time that we have together. So also, I have an extra reward for you for being here and sticking around through the end of the presentation. In addition to what you learn, I've got a gift for you. It's called the Trading System Profit Potential Calculator. And you really like this. It'll tell you to the dollar what the profit potential is for your trading system or any system you want to consider. It's a really cool tool that I made several years ago. Simple. You'll like it. It's neat, and it's free. It's my gift for you. So another thing that I know about you, you have goals. It's never about the money. People don't want money for the sake of having money. You've got people in your life that you want to support and provide for, have a better quality of life, whether it's your family, your spouse, your kids, grandkids, church, whatever. You're wanting to do more, you're wanting to do something with your trading that has purpose. So you're doing this for more than just you. And I totally admire and appreciate you for that. So just know that up front. I do this because I know there are a lot of good people that get into trading, and I consider you one of them. And my goal is to help you get where you want to be with your trading so that you can do the good things you want to do and avoid the heartache and anguish that are so common in trading. So that's why I want to help you make it. Now, understand something. In this struggle with consistency, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. You are not alone. You're really not the only one having consistency as a major issue. I mean, it's the #1 issue for most traders, but really it's even bigger than that. Consistency is the foundation of success and the primary determinant of profitability for nearly every single business on the planet, not just the trading industry, everybody. But if you think about it, you got service businesses. And for them, inconsistency means wasted time, lost customers, damaged reputation, and of course that makes other things more expensive. For businesses that sell goods, inconsistency means downtime, scrap, rework, chargebacks, returns, customer claims, as well as all the other costs that are the same for the service providers. Inconsistency is huge. I mean, think about it. If you go to a service provider for whatever it might be, there's professional services or anything, if the quality of their service is hit or miss, one time it's great, the next time it's a bit disappointing, it won't take long until you're finding another provider. So it costs them that they're not providing you consistent service. Same thing goes for goods, whether they're consumable or durable. If the quality of what they deliver is inconsistent, it costs them in all sorts of ways. Now, This is the key for everybody, for all types of businesses, not just traders, but especially for traders, because inconsistency comes straight off the bottom line as a direct cost, as well as contributing to many other indirect costs. So let's take just a minute. I'm going to slow down just a second, and let's take a look at how much it's costing you right now. I developed this a while back. Again, this used to be part of my job as a quality manager. I've got a rule of thumb for estimating how much it's costing you, and it's a pretty accurate estimation. What you need to do is just figure, take whatever 1% of your account is for the average cost of an erroneous trade, then estimate the percentage of times that you don't follow your rules. And the easy way to do that is say, well, all right, so maybe out of 20 trades, like 5 of them, I'm not really sticking to my rules. I fudge it a little bit, or maybe, I make a big boo-boo. So you can figure out the percentage and then estimate the number of trades you place in a year. So if you're trading, placing 1 trade per day or trading day, it's about 250. I mean, you just multiply all 3 of these numbers. So let's take a look at an example. And again, you can like I showed you the formula, you can run this for yourself and you can see exactly what the direct cost is. If you got a $25,000 account and again, you're trading, let's say, an average risk of 2% on any given trade, that's $500 you're risking. So at 1%, it's saying an average error costs $250. That's reasonable. Some trades, the script's going to cost you $500, sometimes less, sometimes more, but 250 is a reasonable number to use. Out of 50 trades, let's say you're deviating on 10 of those, you're not sticking to the rules completely, you fudge it here, there, you hesitate, you move your stop, whatever. That's 20%. And if you're, again, placing 1 trade per day, so that's 250 trades a year. And here's how the math breaks out. Say $250 times 20% times 250 trades a year. That's $12,500 per year. That's a direct cost of the inconsistency. That's money that should be in your account, and it's not. That's missed profits and losses that shouldn't have happened, but were there because of inconsistency. Now, that's a big deal by itself. The indirect cost can be even bigger because you got all that lost time. Time is huge. You have the lost compounding opportunity. Instead of that $12,500 being in your account, it's not there for you to work with and build on further, so you're not growing your account the way that it should. One of the worst things that can happen is every time you make a mistake that you know you shouldn't make, you lose confidence. It hurts your integrity. That increases your doubt, self-doubt, doubt in your system, doubt in everything. And of course, the anxiety, because now instead of dealing with knowns, since you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that just furthers the anxiety because now you don't know what to expect. And all this does, all these things reinforce your fears that you have to deal with in your daily trading. Okay, so this is on the negative side. And we're going to come back to this in just a minute. Now, before we continue, it's really important to address a misperception. And one of my favorite quotes, I used to have this on the QA lab where I used to work, because it's so true. The problem ain't what we don't know. It's what we know. It's what we think we know that ain't so. It's an old quote from Will Rogers. It basically says, if you believe something and it's incorrect, it's going to prevent you from thinking correctly, and that's the big problem. It keeps you from the solutions that will let you move forward. And here's what I'm talking about. A lot of times people come to me and I say, Brian, I'm fighting hesitation, I'm staying in trades too long. Here's the things that are going on, and what I need to fix is me. Now, here's the thing. In one sense, when you say this to me, you're right. Yes, as you are right now, you're not going to make it, because if you were the trader that you needed to be right now, you wouldn't be having the problems. But so that in and of itself, yes, as you are right now, you do need to fix something about you. Something's got to change. But in another perspective, you're wrong in that as a person, you're okay. It's not that you have discipline issues. It's not that you have personal issues, deep psychological issues. Just the fact that you've made it to the point that you're in a position to trade demonstrates that you have what it takes. You're okay with money. You're okay with discipline. You're okay with success. You've already demonstrated all those things. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in a position to trade. So as a person, you're okay. As a trader, though, you're missing something. And deep down underneath it all, you know this. But again, the important thing is you got to trade. You have to get the focus on the right thing. So long as you're thinking it's a personal issue, you're going to focus there and miss the real problem, that it's something else, you as a trader. So, and besides, when you're beating yourself up, all the self-blame and chastising and everything, all that's just counterproductive. All it does is tear down your self-esteem, and I mean, that's just a horrible cycle. You know what I'm talking about. So the cool thing about this is, if you've been looking at the situation and you're thinking that your inconsistent results or your poor results are due to lack of discipline and deeper issues, Well, now you get to see that there's more to the story. And by seeing the complete picture, now this is going to expand your mind. You'll be able to function a little bit differently mentally. And when you change, everything changes because you're at the heart of your operation. Now, let's go back over to consistency as it relates to a function of your trading business. Back in the 60s and 70s, this is a cool example. It's one of my favorite stories, so you like this. Anyway, back in the 60s and 70s, the Japanese car companies had the reputation of making cheap little cars. They're cute and they're fun, but they're cheap little cars. And so they struggled to establish a good foothold in the American marketplace. And I had a Datsun back when I was in high school, so maybe you were, back familiar with those days. They were cool, they're fun, cute little cars, but they had the reputation of being cheap, and that was a big problem. And they were tired of that. They wanted to go ahead and get on with, more profitability, better prestige, all that kind of stuff, more market share. And so they hired Edward Deming, a quality guru from America, and he went over there and he helped them change their mentality and their approach to what they were doing. Instead of always focusing on being cheap and keeping their costs down and just running as lean as they could, he told them to focus on quality, buy better materials, take the time to buy better equipment, you focus on your processes, all this kind of stuff. And they applied his recommendations and started producing much better quality cars. But it wasn't just the products that were improving, they were improving their operations as well. They got a handle on what they were doing internally. And through good process control and other quality tools, they made dramatic improvements all the way around. And as you know, in the 80s and 90s, then you had your car companies, Nissan, which was Datsun, Toyota, and Honda. All of a sudden, instead of being cheap little cars that they had the old reputation, it's like, wow, hey, if you want a good car, buy a Japanese car. And that became the whole perception because they were producing excellent cars. Everything improved. Their reputation improved, their profitability improved, their internal operations improved, their market share improved. Everything all the way around just went great, and Japan went from struggling after World War II to again returning as an economic superpower because they had this whole quality culture throughout their whole country, but especially in the automotive industry. So the focus on consistency and quality has a huge payoff. Now, how is this related to trading? Well, prior to trading, I was a quality engineer. I worked in a manufacturing plant. It was a $100 million manufacturing facility where we made literally billions of plastic bottles for Coke, Pepsi, Gatorade, all the bottle, soda and water bottlers. And it was a high speed, high volume, razor thin margin operation. We had no room for error. If we screwed up on line, it could cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars in no time because, again, it was high speed, high volume. So we had to absolutely be on our game every day throughout the entire operation. We had 7 different departments, 4 different shifts, and everybody, we had to get good, consistent performance out of everybody or it cost us just like crazy. Now, so that's what I was doing prior to trading. Now, I made a discovery, well, after I made the move into coaching other traders, and I had a lot of people with this one spell several years ago, people coming to me asking for help, primarily with hesitation, but some of the other common psychological, so to speak, issues, hesitation, getting in, pulling the trigger, all that kind of stuff. And what we found when in working with these people, what I found was, okay, yeah, here's the typical or generally accepted reasons, and we explored those, but it was bothering me because it's like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. This is not a people problem. This is a systemic problem because I'm seeing the same thing with a lot of very astute and competent people, very successful people. And so that tells me there's something wrong with with the way the whole trading industry is organized. And so I kind of went back to my roots with quality, and I said, all right, let's take a look at your trading system. And I asked people, I said, what is a trading system? And usually the answer that I get back is, well, it's my set of charts and rules and my indicators. And that right there is a mental error. And I went through it with some epiphanies myself in working with everybody. And again, that's kind of cool. It's not those things. Your trading system is what you do. It's your process for placing trades. And it's a decision-making process. Now, the cool thing about this is when you look at trading, not as just, in your system as a set of rules and indicators, but a process, and you look at it like a business process. Now you can apply the quality tools and practices to apply to gain some process control and control over what you're doing and achieve consistency. Because again, quality has been around for decades. Quality assurance, not quality control where you put in a Spectra online and just catch bad products as it's made. We're talking about quality assurance where you knowingly are making good product or good services. Now, the cool thing about quality is it's applicable everywhere. It's not just for manufacturing goods. It's good for services. It's for everything throughout an entire business, including management. And it can be applied to trading. And that's what I was able to do. When we started doing this with me and my coaching clients, what I found was, and they found it was great, was when we fixed their system and mentally how they were addressing it and putting in these tools and practices, their problems just kind of faded away. And their confidence just soared because now all of a sudden they're getting a solid handle on what they're doing. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Again, it's not a people problem. It's a systemic issue with trading. I had seen this before, and so it's just a matter of saying, all right, let's approach it as a process control issue, not a psychological, personal issue. Let's look at it from a business perspective. And when we apply the full methodology and tools, it was fantastic. And the neat thing about it is I had the good fortune to work in engineering and also in the quality fields and have years of experience as a trader, all three. So I could see how these things can come together. And now, hey, you've got a process to really get some solid consistency in your trading. So what I wound up doing was I created a program specifically for traders. And the first step in this process was to define your trading process. And even Deming, this is so funny because when I present this to people, sometimes it makes them mad, sometimes it hurts your feelings, but it's true. If you can't describe what you're doing as a process, then you don't know what you're doing. And sad as that sounds, there are a whole lot of traders, they're working with a system, it's not really a system, and they can't describe what they're doing as a process. And they wonder why they're struggling with consistency. It's because they can't even describe it in a way, like I said, as a process. So that's the first thing we got to do. Now, when you learn how to do this properly, when I teach my clients how to do this properly and how to properly define your trading as a process, the neat thing about it is the first thing is clarity. Now, instead of this kind of vague, kind of cloudy, a little confused feeling, it's clarity, and it's like, wow. And interestingly enough, what I've had a lot of people say to me, and this really caught me by surprise at first, but it's happened a lot, is people will tell me that after getting the process defined and documented properly, they have a feeling of lightness about it. And I got to think about it, and after a while, it's like, yeah, it's because that stress is gone, and all that weight and the confusion and the mental activity, short-circuiting and all that kind of stuff, it's gone, which is cool. Now, the second step in this process is you take your system, now that you have it properly, the process defined and documented, now you want to prove that it works. And here's where we attend to the catch-22 that gets so many traders screwed up. Here's the catch-22. Most traders can't stick to the system long enough to establish the confidence they need to stick to it for any length of time. And so they just go through the horrible cycle of, well, I can trade with it for a little bit, and then, man, I'm over here deviating with it, and crap. And so they can't get along, they can't go long enough to get that good, solid confidence with it. When we test it out, when we prove it out properly, it confirms the system's potential for profit, and we also determine its true strengths and weaknesses, so that you have a good, clear knowledge of what your system can and can't do. And that's really crucial. Now, understand, simple backtesting by itself isn't enough. A lot of people come to me and they say, Brian, I get it about backtesting and everything, but man, I can't seem to get my my regular day-to-day results to match up with my backtesting results. And that's from an understanding that you do need to test things to prove it out, but you have to understand the testing process and how to go about it properly. I ran into this in the manufacturing world, I've run into it in trading, it's the same thing. You have to understand the testing process and how to apply it, and also how the numbers are generated, where they come from, so that you know when to count on them, when to challenge them, and when to just outright ignore them. So, and the whole reason for this is you need to go into your trading day with realistic expectations. That's absolutely critical. If you're thinking that your system is never going to have more than 2 or 3 losing trades in a row, and all of a sudden it hits 5 or 6, which are actually perfectly normal for it, but you had the false perception that no, 2 or 3 is what you should expect. Well, that 5 or 6 is going to totally throw you off in a wreck and destroy your confidence, and you go down that cycle again. So realistic expectations are critical, and knowing how to prove it out so that you know its strengths and weaknesses is critical. So the neat thing about this is when you know how to prove it out and you do it, You get a feeling of peace with the markets. It's no longer feeling like the markets are just an antagonist that's out to, ruin your day and take your money. Now you can go to the markets with a sense of peace, much lower stress level. Your fears and anxieties go away because now you've got a good solid grounding in reality. And you get this mental shift from survival to, again, just okay, now I'm going to go about what I need to do. And it's more of a matter of fact and a comfortable mental state to be in, instead of, survival and, again, feeling that the market is there just to, ruin your day. So the third step that we want to do in this process, really for good solid process control and making it, you're trading a good functional business that you can count on, is we want to maximize your profits. And one of the best things about it is when we do this, again, that just further establishes more confidence in your system, because now you learn how to make changes in a calculated and business-like manner, and you can adapt to changing marketplace conditions. Again, it's knowing how to do it properly. You stay in this forward progress mode through continuous improvement and a well-organized, properly organized method. So when this happens, you get this eagerness to go engage the markets. Now you're not afraid of the markets and you're just figuring out how you're going to survive and how you're going to make it work and all that whole mental state. Now your mindset is an expansion. It's like, cool, yeah, I've always wanted to try this, and I see the opportunities over here, I want to try that. And you know how to go about it in a very controlled and business-like manner. It's not just, playing games and throwing money here and there. You're doing it in a knowing manner, and that's cool. And that is just, it brings back such an excitement for yourself and your future as a trader. So I call this process that I developed, this program, I call it Trading System Mastery. And really what I did was I took the problems that I found that were common to all my clients, all the recurring themes, and I formulated it into a kind of a standardized coaching program. Again, because there were so many repeated things. And then I refined it over the course of 18 months, working with dozens of traders. And the initial coaching program cost $997 and took about 30 days for people to complete on average, anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, depending on the individual and their circumstances. But the cool thing about it is when they came out of it, they were entirely new traders. It wasn't just a new thing that they had picked up. They had been able to expand their mind, expand their understanding. They had new tools. They had techniques to apply, good practices to put into place. They were a whole different trader, and that's why they were able to move forward. They weren't just the same person with a new thing. They developed into a new trader. They developed as a trader into somebody who really did have some good, solid mastery over what they're doing. And again, this was all in 30 days, and it's very cool. The typical results for everybody, the main thing was relief. I had so many people that's the first thing on their mind is, man, I just feel so much relief from the stress, from the aggravation, the anxiety. Was wonderful, and the confidence. With a lot of people that I coach, I would ask them at the start of things, where are you at right now as far as your confidence? And on a scale of 1 to 10, and that almost invariably they'd be at a 2 or 3 to start with. But within just a few weeks, I'd ask them again, and wow, yeah, now they're like an 8 or a 9 or a 10, and that's cool. Their physical appearance, their manner, their energy, everybody would seem to notice it about them, and it was so cool because now instead of being all stressed, they've got this calm and a sense of ease about them. And it was very, very cool. And of course, the renewed excitement toward the trading, that always helps. Now, I know we're running tight on time, and I hope that you found this very helpful. That was my whole point, is to give you some different perspectives on things. Instead of just looking at your trading as a way to make money and something to do, no, you can look at it as a process and now, apply process control to it. Again, the things that we've talked about. I've been able to cover about 30% of what I would normally of what you would need to know to really implement this, again, because of our limited time. Normally, it would take several hours, not a lot, so like I said, not weeks and months, but again, a matter of hours. So it's almost time for Q&A, and if you'd like to take this further, yes, I do have a special offer for you. I'm going to tell you about it right now. It'll only take a few minutes, and we'll get on to Q&A, and I also do have the gift for it. So that's where we're going to go next. I need to take a quick second, see if we have any questions. Anybody have any questions? Do go ahead and start typing them in, and I'll address them here in just a few minutes. I'm trying to keep with the schedule, that's all. So now, again, I do have an invitation for you. You can begin your transformation today. This process, while I used to do a one-on-one live coaching with people, it is available through online training now, it's a home study course called the Trading System Mastery, and the modules are just like what we were talking about a few minutes ago. You get an in-depth how-to, and you can get through everything in less than 5 hours as far as just watching the videos. Not doing everything, but you can have a look at everything in less than 5 hours. The first module is where we take a look at the proper way and where you do it with a good understanding of the proper way to define and document your trading process so that it is easily repeatable. And again, this is regardless of how you trade, what you trade, it doesn't matter. This applies because, again, it's just a decision-making process. So this is applicable. You don't have to switch systems. You can use what you've got. This includes a lot of the key insights and the tricks of the trade from my quality years, and I was good as a quality manager. I took my client from last place in our rankings to first place within 2 years within the company and with all our customers. So I do know the quality part of it. Again, it was a natural fit for me, and I want to share all this stuff with you and how to apply it to your trading because it is so effective and it will make your life so much better. The second module, you get a good precise measure of how good your system is to the dollar, and you establish that realistic baseline so that you're going into the markets knowing exactly what to expect. You get that stress and that anxiety, that fear of the unknown off your shoulders. And then the third module is where we maximize your system's profitability and keeping you in this, always moving forward, but doing it in a very organized, calculated, and business-like manner. So you know you're moving forward. You know that everything that you do is working for you, not against you. Now, you might be thinking, well, Brian, that's cool. I understand this about, the kind of hard side. Let's treat, the trading as a, process and all that kind of stuff. But, I've still got some, just plain pure psychological stuff to deal with. And I understand that. And that's why, as a bonus, I'm including the Trader's Guide to Emotional Management, which is essentially emotional intelligence for traders. And it deals with over 50 specific mistakes that traders make. It gives you specific actions and tools that you can apply to address those, again, purely psychological issues, and also as far as how they relate to trading. So as far as the psychological side of things, we're addressing that here. The second bonus is Trading Performance Analyzer, which is an excellent tool, again, for doing the analysis, for tracking your trades, for keeping a rolling measurement and the metrics on your trading, but doing it all in a very easily mentally manageable manner, not overwhelming pages and pages of numbers. No, this is real simple, very meaningful, very useful. Self-sabotage. Some people, they say, well, I get all these things, but man, I just can't seem to stop sabotaging myself. The third bonus I keep in here is so that you can understand where the self-sabotage is coming from. This video I made. It's 4 forms of self-sabotage that are very common, but can really be screwing you up as far as your trading. So that you can understand that. You may say, well, it's cool, Brian, but I don't want to buy another system. I want to be able to create one of my own, but I'm not sure what all needs to go into it. So I also include this video. It's 10 essential components of a high probability winning trading system, everything that you need to have in it so you do have a good, solid, well-structured trading system, a trading process. And the fifth bonus is really cool. You may be saying, well, okay, that's all well and good. But even once I get all this in place, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in general, just get my whole trading business organized. So what I'm including as a fifth bonus is the first 4 lessons of a 6-month program that focuses on your trading as a business called the Trading Pit Club. And these exercises in the first 4 lessons are really the foundation exercises for your trading business. And so it's a 6-month program. You're getting the first month for free, and you can continue through it if you like. You come out of it with a business plan and the whole 9 yards, really the high level, as a business owner program. And so you can continue with that if you want. It's just $99 a month. Drop out anytime, if you want to, or you can go all the way through it and really be attending to both things here: your trading system with the trading system mastery, and the trade, your business aspects of your trading, and you being the business owner with this program. So I'm including this as well. And again, it's free. The first 4 lessons are free. If you want to continue, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Just let me know. But again, this is great for getting your trading business organized, focused, and planned. So now, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap this up pretty quick. Renee's letting me know. I've just got a few more minutes left, so let's keep on rolling here. And an extra bonus for action takers. The first 20 to enroll get an extra reward of $100 discount. You just use this coupon code ACTION100. And understand something, this Trading System Mastery Program is not available to the general public. Enrollment is closed right now to the general public. This is your only way to get in. This is your only window of opportunities today. But also understand, in looking at this, if you want to sign up for it, we're not getting married. All you need to do is take a look. If it's not a good fit, just say so and get a refund. Again, it does have a 60-day peace of mind guarantee. I've been around for 11 years. I back the guarantee. Really, this is not a lifetime commitment. You'll know within an hour. You can get a quick look at the program, and you can find out within an hour. So today you can look at it in and out. Anyway, the thing is, you want your trading produced, you want consistency. You're doing this for more than just you. So really, it's just an easy decision. Get that money in your account, financially, time-wise, functionally. It really is. It's an easy decision. It's going to do good things for you. Now, how to get started? Instead of the $9.97, it's $4.97. Go to insideouttrading.com/SOC, and that's how you can get started. If you want to use the Action 100, save yourself an additional $100. Cool. And other than that, if you've got questions, great. Let me know.